Hey cuties, yeah, I'm talking to you. Welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh! Market Watch, and you guys will not believe the QCR buyouts that I have for you today, as well as the other cards we are going to go over. You know you're in for a fantastic Market Watch when you're on the Team Sakurazo channel, but I'm just going to get right into it here. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed this video. And hey, it helps me in the algorithm. So if you guys just take a second to hit that like button, hit the subscribe, especially if you're not subscribed. You're not going to want to miss the deals on this channel. And while you're down there, hit that notification bell so you do not miss an upload. One of my videos, actually, unfortunately, on Monday, really did not get pushed out, unfortunately. So that just happens. So go hit that notification bell so you don't miss an upload. Also, if you're buying any cards off TCG Player, use my affiliate link down in the description below. It helps out the channel to no additional cost to you. Check out Whatnot using my link. You can get $15 on your next purchase. And they have a lot of cool Yu-Gi-Oh cards as well as other collectibles there as well. They don't have just card games either. They have shoes and every other like toy slash collectible and stuff there. It's an awesome site. And hey, when you use my link, you get $15 on your next purchase. Check out in the description below, Whatnot, all that. And while you're here, consider being a YouTube channel member. As you guys see here, I've been uploading more and more channel member videos. And I have decided I'm actually going to throw up a 5 cards to have in your trade binder here pretty soon-ish. At least definitely in the month of June. So if you guys really want to see a 5 cards out of your trade binder, hey, go ahead. Become a YouTube channel member. It helps out the channel. We have small tiers as well, $2, $5, all of that. And check out our, TCG creator. You can make your own graph. Make your own cards so you can see how if they're going up or down. Every market watch, I have one of these up there on there. It's in the description below. And when you click one of these, it takes you to TCG Player directly, which is pretty awesome as well. And it uses my affiliate link. So go check out, make your own graphs, all that. And we're just going to get right into it here. So Starving Venom Fusion Dragon, Super Poly has been a card that has been picking up steam, especially because we have more and more Super Poly targets now than ever before. Konami just releases them randomly. And right now, the QCs are $17, going up to 30 bucks here. And I remember the original secrets when they were very hot were around this price here. And everyone likes to bling out the extra deck. I think that one thing that we don't talk about too much is that the extra deck tends to be prioritized for max rarity. And when I look at a card, that is something that unfortunately, even though I know that, I always do forget whenever I make choices on, say, what cards to go over and how quick they're going to get bought out. That's something I always forget. But yeah, you got 17 here, going up to $30 here. Now, while, you could get light plays here for 15, 16 though. So if you want to get them before they hit 30, you do also have near mids here for 20, 22 before $30. So you do save yourself $8. But you can get light plays for $16 here. So I would go get these. These were very cheap when they came out. I'm actually very shocked that they were below 10. But as we all know, for staple cards, people always don't want to pick them up when they're not being played, so they're low. And then when they go up higher, same thing applies. Super Poly's cheap when it's not being played, then it goes up higher. Targets are cheap, like Garua are, cheap when it's not being played or Super Poly's not in the meta, and then when Super Poly's in the meta and Garura or Starving Venom is a good target, here you go. They go up. In fact, let's look at Garura here while we're here. I'm bringing it up. QCs today, I mean, yeah, this card has always been some money, as low as like $10, but now they're 14. So this card's been pretty stable. As you can see, has spiked over here at that $17 mark about a month ago, and then has calmed down to about $14, $15 here. So it goes up and down. I think Rarity Collection 2 is definitely aging better than its initial release. I will say that. Mystical Space Typhoon here, QC. Now, this card was actually bought out again, at the $30 mark, right, as you see over here. But calm down from that 27. I told people to calm down. You should get this. Same with Book of Moon while it's down. And now these are $29, $30, going up to 33. This card has been bought out multiple times very recently. I think it's going to stick here. Rarity Collection 2 is definitely aging like fine wine. DD Crow here. This is a card I told people to get 17, especially because when Ghost Bell is good, this card's going to be good. And getting these around $17, yeah, that's a lot of money, but it's way better than 30, 35. Well, today, they're not 30, 35, but they're not 17 going up to 20 either. They're 26, 27, 28, going up to $30 here. Second page here, it does go up as well. You do have, this card does go up to 12,000 for a mob play. Guys, aren't you gonna buy that? And I really like that. You know they don't care because they're like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't know why some stores find it funny to list some random mob play card for $10,000. But if I ever did some type of like investigation, you know, like how, you know, you've got, you know, the BBC, Fox News, CNN, you know, all the, you know, dumb, you know, mainstream news. If I ever did like journalism for Yu-Gi-Oh, I gotta like go undercover and figure out why the fuck there's multiple stores that do this. Like, they all just do this. It's gotta be some type of tradition or something. I'm gonna do my investigation. I think I'm gonna talk to some unks and some OGs about that, because I've been noticing it for years. If you've been watching me or, you know, MSK or, you know, House of Champs MCO40, you know, very old school. Shout out to Jay, by the way. If someone's wondering why I'm not mentioning Jay, it's just because he wasn't back around back then as much. You know, no offense to him. But even back then, before I even had a YouTube channel, like we're talking way back, we've seen this on TCG, and I gotta know. I just gotta know. I'm gonna be doing my research, boys. Skull Meister QC. These are also kind of going up. These were like $4, but this card's so situational. Now they're $8 to $10. I personally really don't like playing this card. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's terrible, but every time I've attempted to play this card, it's just gone really bad for me. It just really has. But every deck could search Fiends. Hey, you're searching a hand trap. It's kind of cute, right? But that's just my opinion here. In fact, we're going to check Ghost Bell as well here. Ghost Bell. We're going to check the PCRs, and we're going to check the QCs. All right, so the QCs today are $50, going up to $58 here. And then the collector rares, which if you got them, hey, I know you guys are sick and tired of me saying this, but if you got them at less than $2, when I kept telling you, hey, you have $11, $12 on your hands. But, you know, that's just me, right? I like to brag, all that. $10 going up to like 13s here. You know, not too bad. Lordy Load here. So we went over this in the last Market Watch, and I was telling people, and I'm still going to hold this opinion, and it's okay if you guys disagree, that you should not be bothering with the reprint, because the secret right here is $30, while the reprint is $30. There's no advantage of getting the reprint at all. You might as well get the max rarity. And while a load is a load and a secret is a secret reprinting, not only does the OG look better, but the OG is going to be valued more in the future. And there's really no decision to, like, at least even if the reprint was $26, right? $30 to $26. I'd still tell you to get the original if this was $30 and the reprint was $26. But just entertain it here. Let's say it's $26, right? Not even $5, $4, right? And you want to place it. So if you get the reprint, you're saving $12, right? At least you could go out to fast food with $12. You're like, oh, I just want to play the card. You know what? I'm going to get the cheaper version, and I'm just going to get fast food twice a week instead of, say, once a week, right? At least that's $12, right? There's zero initiative to not get the OGs. I told people that I don't think this card's going to crash as hard as people think it is, when, you know, the card's going to be short print, and it is, and it goes to $40 here. If you still have your loady loads, hey, good job. I did get rid of a lot of mine when they were 50s. I said, you know what, I was just flipping the card for a straight $10. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys, just get it out of my inventory. I had 2 copies I couldn't get rid of. I said, you know what, I bet it's short print, I don't care. And I still have those 2 copies in case I want to play Primite. But yeah, 35s here. Let's see what Barrel is at. Barrel's, you know, $13 here. So the OG's holding some value, but I honestly would rather, because at least the secret looks nice, right? The secret does look very nice, and it does have the correct wording, so that is kind of nice. So personally, I would get the secret rares, in my opinion, because not only is it at least not only $5 cheaper, but there's a difference between $5 cheaper when we're talking about cards that are like very high, like 30s, 40s, 50s, and cards that are like 8 to 13. You know, that's about not 50%, but at least like closer to 40% of a difference, right? And again, it has the correct text. That's what's really dope about this. And it does match load. I do like that the rarities do match. But yeah, I get the secrets of these though, for sure. QCs are 150. Not too bad. Going up to 160 here. Beautiful looking card. Beautiful. Let's see. Lordy Load Mayhems. We already went over this. Now, this is a card. I'm going to call this a crackhead buyout. If you've watched my content before, you have heard me say this, but there are some Yu-Gi-Oh players where I really think that their, parents should just have access to their bank account. Especially, it could even be like a girlfriend or whoever they pay for OnlyFans, right? There's like this little like dommy mommy thing financially where like they dominate someone financially. I think that there are guys who could benefit from that because there's no absolute way that people got this of all cards to 190 going up to $250. This is ridiculous. Now, yeah, this has sold for 120, but I actually think 100 is too much for this card. If you do get a cheap case for Suda, which the case is pretty, should be pretty cheap, and you pull this is actually one of your ways of getting your money back on that case. But this card's not going to move for 190, 200. There's so many better cards to buy, and even if there isn't, I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys. Just put money in the stock market or just buy anything, right? Like, do this, even like, just don't buy this. If you have this, get rid of it. Get rid of it. Necros of Bryonic, quarter century. These are bought out $35.45 here for your copies of Bryonic. I told people, because the QCs were always 20 around, get the plats at $1. $1 plats, that's 5%. Usually these plats can hit 15 to 30% of the QC value, and we have Necros support coming. So I kind of saw this as a very easy, not have to worry about flip that could be very quick. Within 3 months, right? Because some people, they like to hold their penny stocks for a year, 6 months, 9 months, maybe even they get it and immediately jumps. It's happened. Right now, your plats are 3.5, but they do go up to that $4 to $5 mark. So if you do have Necros of Bryonic, you want to get rid of them, right? Especially if you got a set or two, it's an easy flip, and you can get your fast food that way, right? Or really whatever you want. Shurit, the strategist of the Necros. QCs are only $8 here, going up to 211. I think if Necros could do something, they'll go up, but even so, I don't really see too many tops. Not because I don't know what the ceiling of the deck fully is right now, but I mostly kind of see it as people just don't care about Necros unless you're an older player. That's the thing about, like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a lot of our players that have been around for like 5, 6, 7 years, the legacy support we get is older than that, so they don't really care as much. It's just the sad truth. Unicorns are 14 going up to $20 here. So if you want your cheaper ones, hey, you have a place here at 14s before they go up to 20. Not too terrible. Jinzo Layered, all right? Just like I laid my nuts on your mother's face. This card is going up 4.5, going up to $5.5, $6.5 here. $7, $8, $10. So this card is going up. Now, what this card does, it takes 2 level 6. If you don't know, basically, you take control of a face-up monster until the end phase, and it cannot activate its effects or declare an attack, but you're gonna, use it for something else. If trap is on the field, you can tribute a monster. If you do, destroy 1 face-up card on the field. So basically, you could tribute to pop a card, which is like kind of cute if there's a trap on board, but in reality, you're just kind of making this to take a monster and then link it off. It's still a accessible rank 6, but there are cards like Photon Strike Bouncer, which would have been a very cool QC, by the way. Which, wow, these are actually getting bought out. I did not know that. Let's look at the secrets here. You got First Ed for 11, going up to 17, 20, 25. Well, it is in redo format because Galactic Overlord is a set before Return of the Duelist. Yeah, am I shocked? No. I do have Near Mints on. If we go light plays, you do have some more listings here. $11 here. Not too bad here. But it is going up quite a bit. I'm actually kind of wish there was more cards. So I'd love to see what else is getting bought out in this set. But we actually went over this set very recently. And this was not bought out. So this is actually quite fairly new here. Queen Dragon Jin, that's the card we went over. 11 going up to 25. So, if you do want cheaper copies, hey, you got a real good deal. No pun intended, I guess. You do have access to that card. Supers are at bucks, dollars, not bad. I mean, this card does go up to like $2 here, but you do have that wall of 108. And we are back after a technical issue here. Cyberdark Dragon Nova, I don't know why I call it Cyberdark. Cyberdarks are playing it. Is going up here. These are 5 going up to $6. If we actually go first editions here, they do go up to $7 with lower listings, even all the way up to 10 when I was looking at it. And it's not just the Ultra, it's all versions here. This is not only being played in a lot of Cyberdark and the machine decks that we've gotten recently, like the Cyber Dragon support, which a lot of people aren't talking about, but hey, a lot of people love Cyber Dragon, so they'll play it even at locals to go X2. They'll just love to have fun and playing their new cards, and I don't blame them. Hats off to them. Cyber Dragon is a cool ass deck. But the commons and supers from even OTS, these are all worth money. So if you have these somewhere, you have a couple dollars. So definitely dig these out. Also, Crystron's using this, I believe. I don't know if they still use it, but there is that as well. Now, Blue Eyes White Dragon Starlight Rare. Of course, this is going to get sold 130 going up to 200. Now, here's what's going to shock you. Look at all these sales at $130. Oh, this is crazy. This is actually, I can't believe it. I know that we have collectors and Blue Eye sells, but this is actually just really sad. And it's gonna really suck because this says one of the biggest letdowns I've seen in a long time. And especially with how people hyped it up and how good people thought it was gonna be. And the fact that this is the Starlight that's carrying it, it's like the same day, it's like different days, same shit, right? It's kind of like that. It's like that one. This is how I see Blue Eyes with Yugioh. It's like that one girl that you always kind of hear about. That's like, how should I say this? She's always kind of homie hopping. And you guys have history, but it was so long ago that you're really over it. But you think about once in a while to reminisce. But you always hear in the grapevine that she's doing this with this person. And no matter how long it's been, it could be a decade. You could have you could have gone through a marriage and gotten divorced, and you're still hearing about this girl doing the same stuff that you were doing when you were 18, 19, 20. That's how I see Blue Eyes, right? No matter what Konami's doing, no matter what the player base feels about the game or whatever crazy stuff's going on in the world or what, Blue Eyes is still just a free printing money machine. I really think that we should be looking at printing Blue Eyes as actual currency with how much it holds up value. This is actually insane. Blue Eyes holds more, GPD than like third world countries. I'm just telling you, it's actually just crazy. Lady Dragon Maid, all right. Monster Mayhem. These are $4 now. They were $3s, going up to I'm not gonna say, it can't say going up to 5s with these walls. They're not. But it's gone up a little bit here. Again, this is like the only card that is like one of the only cards that's new for them besides the other Ultra. I think that while it's really cool to see this stuff out, there's not enough Dragon Maid players that want to play the deck right now out there that really need their copies of this card. But it is a card that I could see go up slowly over time because if the seal does not sell as well as it's supposed to, a lot of people aren't opening it up, I think a lot of the singles will go up from this set, like I've said. Also, have you guys hit that like button yet? If you guys haven't, I really do got to ask that you guys hit that like button. 100 likes on this video really, really would be awesome. I know that you guys get annoyed at that, but it only takes a few seconds to hit that like button, the subscription, the notification bell, all that. And if you do love my content, you love the jokes we make here on Team Soccer House, all that, really do consider being a channel member. I know this is the part where people probably skip, but just hear me out. I do want to do this more YouTube, and I want to do more market watches because I really would like to get to a point where I'm doing 5 to 6 market watches a week. So I'm basically just churning them out, right? Every day, even if some of them are like shorter, just trying to do that. And it's, to do that, I got to work some less hours. And if I'm working less hours, that's less money. So if you guys do want to support me, and hey, it helps with bills too, business, all that. I could do more special-esque videos in the future that, I don't have to worry about the algo screwing me over because, like, well, I'm cemented. If the algo doesn't want to push my video out talking about, having my discussion videos, which some of you guys seem to like, some of you don't. Like, I put in Yu-Gi-Oh! Deep dives, like, predictions, the Konami's failure of Legendary Duelist, the downfall of Konami's Yu-Gi-Oh! TS. You guys really liked this video a lot. And I have more discussions here, not just these 6 here. But you get the point. I would like to do more videos like that. DD Count Surveyor, Battles of Legend, BLM. This looks like some Predator shit. Like, straight up, this looks like Alien versus Predator. These are now $5 here. I think that's a little too much for this card, but I definitely think that this is a card that will be worth money no matter what, because the new DD support, people are already learning the new lines, and it's going to be good. So, yeah, I would wait to see if that card goes down to re-pick it back up again. We have Meows here today. They are $51, $52, so they have gone down from that $70 mark. Meows probably is going to be reprinting the tins. That's what I really think. I don't think we're going to get a reprint earlier than that. And if I think that Konami also wants to put Perulia in the tins, they could actually skip this and try to give Meows a little more time instead of putting it in the tins. That's possible. But I really do think it's going to be in the tins. But I'm not 100% sure. I'm more like 85, 90. But I definitely am certain that the earliest they're probably going to reprint this card, and this is just my prediction, is probably the tins. So we have about 4 months for this card. Paw Prosperity. So we have the Paw collections here at 15, and then we have the QCs here at 23. So someone actually asked me, which one should I get? And at first I was thinking, oh, that's easy, right? And then I stopped myself because I was like, what really is the best? Now, I think that the very easy answer is the QC, if we really want to be easy with it, because if this card ever goes to 2 or 3, people are going to start picking these up. This is going to be $40, $50 again, right? Maybe even 60, because we have 27 listings. That's not a lot for a limited card. Like Paw Prosperity, I don't know. It does go up to 32. I actually picked up my Euro. It's really clean. But this is a card that, obviously it's good. Even as a one-of, it's still good, right? You can also just play this if you ever play Extrav and all the other cards, just as like, the better card to draw, essentially. But the Paw collections at 15, they aren't bad. And we know that Konami is not going to be able to reprint this again because it's like a Hobby League card, right? That's how I would describe, the Paw collection, right? These are very rare. They're hard to get. A lot of people have them sealed. And I do feel like eventually we are going to be looking at this and we're going to see this easily as a very old vintage collection item where we're like, wow, people put the singles up on TCG for this small of an amount. I could see that in 5 years. And a lot of people think about a year max or less when they try to get cards. They don't think 3, 4, 5 years, because you might not even be playing in 3, 4, 5 years. You might not even be watching Team Sakura. So I know that's a scary thought. I'll calm down, okay? It's going to be okay, all right? Everyone moves on, all right? But I will miss you. I will miss you if you do that. But in reality, I think that a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players, though, they know that they'll never lead the game for good. Even if they're just checking in on it, they're just going to want to check in on it, right? They can always have a collection, right? And sitting on stuff just to move later is always going to be a big thing. To answer the question, though, on which one is better, I'm going to be honest. If you want very quick, it's going to be this. Very, very long term, it's going to be this. But if you're smart, you'll know that the decision is both. That's the cool thing about Yu-Gi-Oh! Is when it's like this, you could just grab both and just be happy. I actually do want to look at the Starlight Rare of this card as well. And hopefully you guys are enjoying the longer market watches. I really hope you guys are. Some people are saying that the market watch is boring, which, by the way, thank you guys for answering that question of the day, by the way. It is always good to get feedback from my community. I do want to start asking questions as well. Probably every video, because but I want to make them like unique questions. I don't want them like, oh, what are you playing at locals next week? Like, look, I don't even care. I'm not even going to lie to you. I don't care what you play at locals next week. But if I have a fun question that actually takes some, thought, then, oh, yeah, I care what you think. I'm just playing, guys. You know me. But, yeah, Starlight Prosperity, $82, $90 for your copies here. Remember that the QC is probably not going to pass 50, because if it does pass 50, 55, people are going to start looking at the Starlight. 7 Tachyon. Now, this is going to surprise you. These are the CRs, okay? 35, 40s. Guys, the Ultras were this like 3 weeks ago. Or not the Ultras, but the Secret Rares, right? I think that this is a card that has just gone down and down in value. A lot of people aren't really liking 7 Tachyon, but I think that we're going to start seeing it more once we get a lot of reprints, like Raziel reprints and other stuff. That's my personal opinion. But a lot of people are just... This was kind of a flavor... I don't want to say it's a flavor of the month type card, but it really did not have the staying power that a lot of people thought it was. People thought this card was going to change the game. And here it is, with the CR being less than $40. Silent Honor Arc. $10 for your QCs here. But they go up to $30 here. Why is this card getting bought out? Obvious, it's not played in hat because that's a Legacy of the Valiant. I do not believe that that is a hat format or that's in hat. I am 99.9% sure because I don't remember Excited Knight hitting the board ever. But yeah, $10 going up. You do have a wall here for 24 though from, S Gaming there. You have another wall here, but this is on lower listings than I thought. People are eating these up. So if you want your 101s, you might want to take a look at this. Especially because people are also playing it with, 7 Tachyon and C101, right? Because we've seen C101 go up, which we're actually going to go over C101 here because the ultis were around $40-ish here. And right now, they're at 34 for light play. 40 for light play. Near mids are 40, 45. So there's still money. Though C104s are 60, 65. That's crackhead prices. Are people paying 60 for that? Wow, that is ridiculous. Wow, that is crazy. I actually have Judgment of the Light sealed. The boxes aren't actually that much money. $83. Like, wow. The sealed of this is not that. It is not that bad. I'm not saying you can profit. But, I mean, you have a 1 out of 12 for the Ghost Rare. The ultis are all pretty good. And the bulk is pretty good, too. But, yeah. I mean, actually, your chances of profiting are, like, none. Never mind. But the fact that the sealed box is that cheap is actually kind of surprising. Transaction rollback QCs. I just want to show that these are $7. Way too cheap, in my opinion, for $7. I would definitely grab these while you can. Zeus Alter Art is only 41. Very cheap here. Very, very cheap. I actually picked these up. And I told the guy, actually, I said, look, bro, I want to help you because he had 2 to get rid of me. I said you should keep one of these. This is a card that can really, really go up. And the artwork, it looks really damn cool. Like, he has Typhon, and he's just wrecking house. It looks not like Transformer, okay? I don't want to hear Transformer. This was a Gundam, okay? This is not a damn Transformer. I don't want any, goofies in my comments saying, no, I thought he looks like a Transformer too. No, I don't want to hear it. I do not. No, all right? I don't want to hear it at all, okay? I will delete your comment. No, I won't delete your comment. But I will be a little upset. But yeah, straight up Gundam. Looks cool. We know how good Zeus is. $40. 40 to 45. This is definitely a card that can go up higher and higher. In fact, I kind of want to see what all the Zeuses are going for. I really think the Battles of Legends one is in like the worst spot ever. At least the Starlight, it's actually lower on listings. 104, go up to 130. I still have my personal Starlight, but I've only used Zeus one time still. It's actually kind of sad. Ultis are $20 here. The ulti's not that bad here. Sorry, guys. I have something in my eye. I have long eyelashes. $20. Tenki QC. Now, we only have 10 listings of this. I told people this was a great $10 QC. You guys should get your set. Well, too bad. If you got this at 10, good job. They're 24, going up to 30, $35. So you have tripled your money here. If you got a set of this, it is going up to the point where you might have a 60 profit. But if you move it like $50. But if you really think about it, like, if you work a job, that's like anywhere from like after taxes, right? Because a lot of people even get like 17 to 20s an hour. It depends on what you do. This can be like, no joke, this could be like 4 hours of work for somebody for that profit margin, and you got that by just clicking a few buttons, which is really good. And that's like the good thing. Sometimes reading the market, you get your benefit quickly. Like if you got Tinkies when I told you, you literally just got all that in 2 weeks. So yeah, great. Necro Valley QCs. $17 here, going up to 20. These cards will go up though. Going up to 21. This is a QC that will easily hit 30s by far. Shaddoll Fusion QCs, these are 15, going up to 20. I was actually shocked because these were selling for a lot cheaper in May. Yeah, like you see that $10, $11, $12 mark. QC Shaddoll Fusion here is going up. People love their Shaddolls. You got Construct here at $8. I thought dollars going up to 10. So not too bad. I actually got a Euro copy of this as well. I got 2 English and 1 Euro. I told myself I will play the ultis, but the fact that I was always going to want 1 QC for me. So the fact that I got the Euro just for it to sit in a binder, really, really happy about that. Because I know that if I ever play Shaddolls, I'm going to want the ultis. Like there's no, I know that the whole deck matches more in QC, but I really just don't care. I would probably get, what I would do is I would probably play either one ulti, one QC, or maybe two ulti, one QC. Because I don't think you're going to need 3 construct. Unless you're playing Duelist Alliance format. Then you play 3 construct. But that's what I personally think of what I'm going to do with this. I'm still going to play my ultis. Which, by the way, this is a hot topic here. But Winda still should have been an ulti. There still should have been an ulti. There's no discussing it. By the way, the alternate art and the main art, I will tell you guys really quickly. This, I believe, is actually part of the nostalgia pool, while this is part of the main set. So do keep that in mind. But people just want the alt art because it says alt art and they think it's cool. It goes up to $8. There's 7 right now. It's not bad at all, but I'll be honest with you here. I have this love for the original just because I just remember how times were when I had this. I don't blame anyone for wanting the alt art. I think it may look better, but I will never run. I just have to run at least one of these if I ran Winda because I know you guys don't want me to get nostalgic here. This Mark Watch is already as long as it is. We're probably like 30-something minutes in. But I remember going to Target with my boy Jason and Peter, which I'm still friends with them to this day. And yes, Jason from Team Soccer also. That's the Jason I'm talking about. And we would get we would get like a couple packs every time we went there, or their special editions. I would get like a special edition per week, right? Because I was making some money back in high school. And I would always love it because we'd always like buy it all together, because if you bought all together like 3 in a row, one of you has to pull good, right? One of you has to, right? And I remember pulling like what the other person needs, and I was literally pulling a construct, Winda, and ulti construct all the time. I barely pulled any Dantes. It was Peter who always pulled the Dantes, and it was always so fun, like, because Duelist Alliance was like stocked for like 2-ish months, right? And the format was so fun. I know it power creeped a lot, and I know a lot of people didn't like it, but just the format was just so fun. And I just always love it when I see this card. And man, the fact that we are talking a decade ago at this point, like it was all of that was, I was such a different man. It's just, obviously, you know, you're 17 and I'm 27. Yeah, I was 17, 16 back then. Now I'm 27. Might have even actually, yeah, about that go 2015. It's sad. Ulti construct. I'm feeling nostalgic. I gotta get this over with. $18 for your ultis. First editions are 23 for your light plays, 26 for near mint. Might as well get 26. Go up to $30. One of my favorite ultis in the game. And then the last card I have here, which if you haven't hit that like button yet, please hit the like button. And let me know if there's cards that take you back to a certain time. That's going to be my question of the day. And I want to hear about it. If you want to type 2 paragraphs, I'll read all 2 paragraphs. You know, I love reading long-ass comments. You know, I really, really do. I know some people are like, why are you typing paragraphs in the comment section? And it doesn't, and the comment does, by the way, if you guys are wondering, when you leave a comment for the algo, it doesn't matter if it's long or short. It's the same thing. Comment's a comment. So if you do it long, I just like it because I get to read it, and I really like, you know, hearing the stories. It's really fun to take you back. Pantheons, though, remember we have that Monarch support. These were as cheap as like $10, $11. They spiked up, and I told you guys why, and now they're back down because people forgot that this deck is going to get its support. They do go up to 15, but you got some cheaper copies at 12 here. If you want this at 10, 11, you'll want it at 12. And with that being said, check out TCG Creator, check out our sponsors, you know, buy TCG Player, whatnot, all that jazz. And then, yeah, that's all I have to say. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.